Yeah, the contrast is striking. As Trump has announced all these designees for top positions, there's been this chorus of championing of the nominees by his Republican allies in Congress. It's been a bit more muted with Kash Patel, and it's noteworthy. We're not seeing this parade of statements championing Kash Patel from the Republicans in the Senate. And that's really the whole ballgame here. Democrats are likely, if not certain, to be unanimously opposed to Kash Patel, but their votes aren't needed. You need 50 Republican votes to pass any of these confirmations through confirmation hearings, which means Republicans can lose only 3 votes on anybody.
On Capitol Hill, where Republican senators appear to be brushing aside concerns over Pete Hegseth's fitness to be the next Secretary of Defense.
Yesterday, President-elect Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon met with a group of Republican senators amid recently emerged allegations of sexual assault and alcohol abuse. Hegseth, the former Fox News host, has denied any wrongdoing.
Got this email in over the break here. Producer Foz sends it in. Hi, Poso. We need to remember how the very same Republican senators standing against Trump bent over backwards to confirm all of Biden's cabinet picks. We won't forget you. We won't forget this. Love you all, Felice. You know, that is an interesting question, Roger. These very same senators, in many cases, and we've got a great list of it, all voted to support Merrick Garland and people like Mayorkas, who has now been impeached for many of the same crimes. Merrick Garland not being forthcoming with Special Counsel Hur's report, and many other instances that that they've committed what were considered criminal acts when someone with an R next to their name did them.
Yeah, Jack, you're absolutely right. I mean, traditionally, senators would only oppose a presidential nominee if there was some evidence of wrongdoing or illegality on their part. You weren't supposed to oppose a nominee just because you disagree with their political philosophy or their positions, because most naturally they're just going to reflect those of the president who appointed them. That seems to be out the window now, and some senators, small number of Republican senators, want to give litmus tests to some of these nominees, which I really do think is outrageous. But I'll just give you a perfect example. Early in the day yesterday, it was reported that both senators from Oklahoma, both James Lankford and Markwayne Mullin, said that they would not necessarily vote for President Trump's nominee, Kash Patel. In Oklahoma, MAGA supporters, watchers of this show, watchers of the Stone Zone, sprung into action, and I understand that they so completely dominated the phone lines at both senators' offices in Tulsa and Oklahoma City that by the end of the day, Senator Markwayne Mullin saying, no, I will proudly support Kash Patel. So there's a perfect example of citizen action working. People who are following this process, the Senator Rounds, I think, of South Dakota is a perfect example. You can go online, you can find the phone number for his offices, you can find his email. Be respectful, be polite, but just make it very, very clear that you expect them to support what the people have voted for. You expect them to support the president's nominees, and if they don't, you will remember them when they're challenged in the Republican primary or in a future election. This kind of citizen action really works. We just saw it in Oklahoma. Hopefully Senator Lankford will come around. But the people have spoken, but they need to speak again now. They need to speak up for Pete Hegseth. They need to speak up for Kash Patel. They need to speak up for Tulsi Gabbard. They need to speak up for all of these nominees, because the deep state is committed to trying to derail the Trump revolution. There's still no question about that.
Well, and this is very important for people to understand. And so whether there's folks out there like Senator Joni Ernst, who, by the way, I believe Ohio is the state where President Trump has stated that he wants to hold the 250th celebration, the Great American, it's going to be the county fair right there in Iowa. And I would hate for the people of Iowa to have to find out that that celebration was moved to, I don't know, Kansas or Missouri or one of the other states, because the senators there were fighting so hard against the nominees of the people's president. But, you know, these are the types of discussions that are currently being held, Roger. I don't know if that's really something that the people of Iowa want. Do you think so?
My guess is if you polled the people of Iowa, they're overwhelmingly in favor of the president's appointments. You remember at the end of the campaign when some pollster came out and said, Here's a surprise poll. Kamala Harris is up by 3 points in Iowa.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes.
When
What was her name again? I don't recall.
She's no longer in the business,
Yeah,
not
she's no longer with
surprisingly.
us.
By the way, Trump won Iowa by 11 points, and he was leading by 10 in internal polling at that time. So this is the most sweeping mandate we've ever seen in a presidential election. Now, you could argue that the comeback of Richard Nixon in 1968 was a greater comeback because he had lost the presidency by a whisker, then lost the governorship of California, and then thanks to only because of, I guess I should say, the murder of John F. Kennedy, the assassination of Dr. King, the assassination of Robert Kennedy, and the disastrous Vietnam War, the seas parted in such a way that he was able to make a comeback. And yes, it's true that his smashing 72 victory, where he carried 49 to 50 states, is a great achievement. But Nixon was at that point only fighting an election campaign. Donald Trump was fighting something far more insidious. I mean, he had to overcome those who wanted to bankrupt him, those who wanted to keep him off the ballot in all 50 states, those who were trying to incarcerate him, or still trying to incarcerate him, and run a campaign to return to the White House. And he pulled off not just a victory, but a smashing victory, a sweeping victory, beginning what I think is a complete realignment of our politics, in which the warmongers, the Cheneys, the McCains, the Kinzingers, and I've had it up to here with Adam Kinzinger, they now all gravitate to the Democrats, the party of war, where common sense Democrats like Robert Kennedy, like Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat, like Rod Blagojevich in Illinois, they're gravitating to Donald Trump because the Republican Party today is the party of peace and prosperity and security and justice. This is going to be one of the most significant political realignments in American history, like that of 1932 and the Democrats, like that of 1968, which is the beginning of the realignment that ultimately elects Ronald Reagan president. This is an amazing time to be alive.